Hi, everyone. Welcome to Honors American History 1. My name is Kristen Cruz. I am going to be your teacher this year, and I am really excited. Even though it's not what we all want, we would much rather be in the classroom and in person. We are going to make the best of this year, and I promise you that you are going to be engaged throughout this course. I'm doing everything that I can to create lessons that apply to your life today, and that I'm going to teach you how to use history as a tool to understand current events and history that's being made in real time. A little bit about myself. I've been teaching at Reagan for 10 years now. I've been teaching American history the entire time. The last 6 years, I also have taught the AP US History course. I am the Youth and Government Advisor. I serve on the Scholarship Committee and the Curriculum Committee. I am also a teacher leader with the Winston-Salem-Forsyth County Teacher Leadership Academy. At home, I have been married to my husband for 10 years, and we have two wild, beautiful, smart boys. Jackson is 6, and Carter is 3. So just quickly, a little bit more about American History 1. We will be looking at history from the time of Christopher Columbus and Native American indigenous groups of North America through the end of Reconstruction, 1877. So that's after the Civil War. We will look into the American Revolution and our founding and how democracy grew over time. We will look at different reformers and obviously expansion west, and then the Civil War, and then trying to put the country back together with Reconstruction. I want to quickly walk you through my Canvas page. This is going to be really important for you understanding. We're going to spend the first week of school kind of learning how to use it, and I'll go into more detail. But very quickly, I'm just going to do a quick overview so that you feel a little bit more at ease going into the first week of school. Okay, so here we are at the American History landing page. So whenever you go to your courses on your dashboard, it'll kind of look like this. You will click on Honors American History 1, and it will take you here. Really quickly, I'm just going to show you student view because that's going to look very different than mine. It's kind of cool. Canvas is going to be much better, I think, than Haiku. We've got a little bit of a learning curve here, but it's not as clunky as Haiku, PowerSchool Learning. Teachers, I feel like can do a lot more things with it. It's going to be great for virtual learning, and it's going to be awesome for once we get back into the school, the classroom as well. So you've got your little to-do list over here, which will link up with your calendar and your other courses, which is nice. I have plenty of other places where it kind of shows the organization of things to do during asynchronous learning time. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But what I've done basically is when you come here, you can click on these different buttons. So the little hand pops up on things that you can click on. And so these are kind of our units. So there's 6 different units. There are a couple of them that are pretty big, and so I might cut them into half and just get a little bit more organized. But you can also, there's an About Miss Cruz page. The syllabus, we'll talk about the syllabus on the first day. That's a little bit more detailed than what we really need to talk about right now. I do want to go ahead and look at these class meetings and office hours just to kind of give you a little bit more insight on how this is going to go. So some of the words that you're going to hear over the next couple of weeks are synchronized learning and asynchronous learning, if you have not heard of them already. So every day during your class period, I have 2 sections, second period and third period, you will meet with me from these times. So for second period, it's at 10:25, and we will be on Zoom. I have created Zoom class links for your respective period. And so you can probably save these somewhere at some point. But this is what you will click on to meet with me each day. And we'll be there about 45 minutes or so, 30 to 45 minutes each day. We will be discussing the reading that you did before, the assignment that you did from the previous day. I'm going to kind of approach this year as kind of it's called a flipped classroom, where, and I kind of already did this to begin with, where you are expected to read or watch a lecture on the content before you come to class the next day. And then we do an activity. We apply that, the content that you learn, and we'll do an activity during the synchronized time. And then we'll end synchronized time, and kind of the expectation is during asynchronous time, you will have an activity that I will have already explained, whether it be guided notes or a reading or a discussion board, something kind of like that. And you'll do that the remaining class period. And that should be how it goes in all of your classes. I will also have office hours for help, and just like if you just need to talk to me about anything, any concerns. And this is going to be really, really important this year, is that you contact me and you let me know if you have any concerns, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe it's too much work or it's not enough work. I'm going to be checking in with you guys and getting feedback from you as students and from you as parents throughout the year, because I do feel like this year I'm kind of like a first year teacher, even though I've been teaching for 11 years. This is all new. I've never taught in a digital platform. I mean, I kind of did in the spring, but this is going to be very different from the spring. And so these office hours are important for you to communicate with me. I'm really laid back. So this is kind of like the official, but if you need anything, even if you just shoot me a remind message and just say, Ms. Cruz, I need to talk to you, more than likely I'll say like, all right, jump on the office hours Zoom link and we can talk. So here are those, and parents, you're more than welcome to join as well. I will try to not send anything super late, like it's like an emergency, which rarely ever happens. On the flip side of that, I do expect for students, and I know this is really hard with learning from home, and this is something I really struggled with in the spring, is that we have to kind of have some boundaries for time. I am a mom to 2 young boys who want attention and need attention. And so if we could try to limit the remind messages, after, let's say 5 o'clock, especially not in the middle of the night. You can always send me an email. But don't send a remind message in the middle of the night asking what's due the next day. We are going to go by something called the rule of 3. So you need to ask 3 other classmates your question before you send Ms. Cruz a remind message, because more than likely I've gone over the answer. But just to kind of help with that, because it did get a little overwhelming for me as a teacher in the spring, because I was constantly connected to my computer and to my phone. And that's not something that I don't really think that it's healthy for me. And it's probably not healthy for you guys either. So I will actually post those remind message codes nice and big at the end of my presentation, or at the end of this video. Okay. So at the end of each page, there's always a button down here that takes you back to the home page. And that is just kind of helpful, so you're not having to try and navigate too much. The next thing I want to show you really quick is Unit 1 homepage. And these will be it's kind of like a landing spot for each of the units. So we'll spend about 2 weeks on each unit. The bigger ones, it might be more like 3 weeks. At the end of each unit, you will have a summative assessment, and it'll be in test form. Because we're e-learning this year, we are going to talk a lot about academic integrity and kind of like an honor code, and making sure that the work that you're turning over is yours. There will be consequences, obviously, for any type of like cheating or sharing information. And so because of that, there will be more writing focus on the summative assessments, because that's going to be more difficult for you as students to be tempted to cheat with versus fill in the blank and multiple choice and things like that. There will be a component of that, but a lot of it will be writing based. I want you to tell me what you have learned. And the best way to do that is for you to write it out or type it out. So just kind of be prepared for that. But what I have here is just a bunch of different resources. So there might be certain like worksheets that I'm gonna give you or things that we're gonna do where you can go here and you can find them. They'll also be located in some other spots too. So for example, on the first day, so the first week, we're going to be learning how to use Canvas. But when we really start getting into history and historical thinking skills and kind of the content, one of the first assignments is looking at kind of like comparison. So comparing 1968 to 2020, you keep hearing, a lot of kids always say like, oh, history repeats itself. Well, we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit. And we're going to use 2020, this crazy year, this turning point in American history. And we're going to compare it to another turbulent year in history. So that should kind of be fun. Another thing here that you'll find on this Unit 1 page are guided notes that I've been working on for you guys, just to kind of, and this will go with your reading. Your textbook this year is online. So I have uploaded PDFs of the textbook. If you would like your own like hard copy to have, we can arrange a time where you can drive by the school and I can hand you a textbook and issue it to you. That's just one of the things that you're going to need to let me know about in advance. So each week you will be reading, and I have created these guided notes that kind of really go perfectly in line with the textbook, but it's not so open-ended where I just say, okay, take some notes now. So it's very organized. You will make a copy of this and you will type in your notes, and then you'll be able to keep them, and you can print them out if you're more of a tangible person. I typically am. This is all really new to me. I like paper. This will definitely be good for the environment though. But so that's one of the things that you can find on this page. Another thing is, I know a lot of students are auditory learners, and one of the things we're going to be missing out, well, during synchronized learning, you will for sure get to hear me talk about and kind of like lecture a little bit, but we really don't have a ton of time for that. And so one of the things that I've done for my APUSH classes, so my AP US history classes, is I'm making lectures for them that are recorded, because it's just the depth of knowledge of the content that they have to know for the AP exam. They have to watch these lectures. It's going to be more supplemental. So if you're struggling, I can say like, you go watch this video, see if it makes sense. So I'm going to post those for you, but I'm also going to post John Green with the crash course videos. They're well organized. They're exactly what you need to know. And so I posted those as well for you guys. Okay. If you go back home, oh wait, actually we're going to go to the modules. Now the modules, these are your assignments. These are your asynchronized lessons, and they'll be found here. So for example, does history repeat itself? When you click here, it'll kind of have instructions. And so it's really easy, user-friendly. You just hit submit assignment, and you will then upload your copy, right? So your copy of your Google Doc that you've created for that assignment. That's pretty much how it'll go for the rest of the year. I hope that was helpful. Being able to see my Canvas page is a little preview. Obviously, parents, you can log in at any time to see assignments and your child's progress. Students, we will talk in depth about it in the coming weeks. We do have some fun little events where we kind of like a meet the teacher event, which we'll do on Zoom, in addition to a parent night. I am looking forward to seeing your faces through Zoom, and hopefully we will be back in the classroom where we belong very soon. Go ahead and join the Remind codes, both posted at the bottom here. And I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to learn with you this year. Thanks. Bye.